I was working on this thing here, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. Just so you know, this is a Bosch coil. It's hard to tell from, maybe I'll get you guys right in the right place. You can kind of see where the old stickers were. It's an original Bosch coil, and it even says Bosch on it, so you know. On the bottom, I've had a problem with this thing for a while. Of the wires here did not have good enough contact to the coil. And I've always thought, at first I thought it was a ignition that just went bad, and it could very well have been, but because of the resistance. I have been using the EMPI ones in all my other cars, and I've had no issues with them, but I've had only issues in this particular vehicle, and it's not, I don't think, been the module. I think it's been because it's had that resistance in there. So it had a bad connection here. I used to be able to just touch it. You could just touch the wire when I was going down the road, and it actually would make the engine shut off right there. So I improved the connection, and it drove fine. It didn't have any issues driving all the way from Solvang back to Riverside, which is a good long drive. So I thought it was resolved. I went out to go drive it to Buses by the Bridge, and if you guys watched the shorts and videos on that, it didn't make it. It started having ignition problems, and I just didn't want to risk it being something else, or changing and putting my last ignition in it without you know, with all the, there's a lot of very rural area where there's no cell phone service out there, so it just was too much risk to go through the desert like that. So anyway, so I brought this one back home, took the other one, had no issues, and it has another, again, that one also has an EMPI ignition module in it, and I brought a spare with me, so I didn't want to use up my only spare and still have an issue, you know. So anyway, so what I decided is, since this it probably is at this point the ignition, just from all the resistance and the on and off and all that stuff of the power surging, can cause something like that electronic to go out. So I'm thinking that I've tested everything. I used a power probe and tested everything, and tested for resistance going from the battery all the way through to here, through the ignition switch, wiggled the ignition switch, didn't have any issues with anything up there. It seems like everything was back here. So I think I've isolated it down to where it's either the ignition or could be possibly the coil, or the ignition module is probably bad. So is what I'm thinking. Maybe it just, all that resistance wiped it out. So what I'm going to do is, I have an opportunity right now that I have a good backup EMPI one, which I know I've had pretty good luck with those, and they sell these that look just like the EMPI ones. Now it could very well be that it's the same people that make these. It's not really an EMPI, they just put EMPI, that's reference to the EMPI part number. But it comes in a white box, which is always scary. But they're really cheap on eBay, and I thought, well, you know what, since I've got a good EMPI backup one, why not try, I didn't want to have this as a backup. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say, because what if it didn't work? Let's try putting one of those cheaper ones in and see if they work, and then we'll know, you know, if it works. And I got my EMPI as a backup I can just bring with me on the road, and we'll see how long it lasts, and then I'll just look at the pinned comment and see, you know, if it goes out, then we'll know that it didn't last. So just for fun, I thought it'd be kind of interesting to know, and could save some money doing that. And if it does work good, maybe I'll just buy a few of these and just have one in each car, because they're so cheap that it would work. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this out. We're going to compare this one to the new one and see how close they are. So stay tuned. When I pull out this distributor, I'll show you how I do it. Yes, this can be done in the car, but if you really want to work that hard, You know, it's much easier to just pull the distributor out. You notice I have a good Bosch rotor and a good Bosch cap, which honestly, if you need to buy a brand new rotor and a brand new cap and an ignition module, or you buy the whole distributor if you needed to do that, it's actually cheaper probably just to get the Magna Spark from CB Performance. And I was considering doing that, but I'm not sure if it's gonna fit in here, you know, with this 2-barrel manifold. So I was thinking it might be really extremely hard to get to the back bolt to put it in. I don't know. But so I just thought, well, I'll just do this for now, and if it works, then fine. If it doesn't, then I'm going to go to the CB Performance other one. I'm going to go out there and do a video out there anyway. I may end up buying it, but it's an expense that I don't really want to make right now. You know, I haven't been working much. You know, my work has been completely dead for about 4 months, my regular day job, and I'm just living on whatever I make from YouTube, which is not enough, and whatever I get from you know, anything else, and I'm basically just burning up my savings. So that's what's happening for me. That's reality. So anyway, let's get this out of here. I'm going to take out this bolt back here. I don't take that bracket off. So I leave this bracket on because then my timing is going to be almost exactly the same. It'll start right up usually, and then I can just check the timing from there. And I pull it out because it's a whole lot easier to get this screw out. If you have trying to do it in the car, you guys, it just, I got guys that say, oh no, I do them in the car. It's like, man, start doing it this way and you just won't go back. Guys say, oh, it ruins the O-ring. I don't have that problem. And look at that, my tool bench is cleaned off. So anyway, let's just take this apart. It's really easy to do these. Oh, it usually doesn't do that. He just slides right off this thing. And we're going to compare the two. Oh, I need an Allen wrench. It only takes a couple seconds to put these on. It takes me less time to do these than it does to do points. And you know, they last about the same price for one of these modules as it is for a set of points, good points, and condenser. And the condenser is the thing that goes bad. It's not the points hardly ever. You know, the points, they have a plastic rub block now versus the Bakelite. The old ones had a Bakelite one, and they last a lot longer. So if you're wondering how long it takes to put one of these on, this is basically what you're looking at. A couple seconds. Okay. Putting this grommet in here is a little, I don't know if the new ones come with, I think these ones are a little bit different. But let's look here. I mean, these are identical. The difference I can tell right now is I don't know if they're manufactured at the same time, same place, because these wires are really flimsy. Let me get you guys up really nice and close. So the wires on these ones are kind of flimsy feeling, and these ones are stiffer and smaller, so they may not be the same. And then the grommet is integrated on this, so it just looks the same. So I don't know if they're actually the same manufacturer that makes them. I mean, this thing's identical, so it has like a little screw here. This one has a little screw, it has a little thing here. So it could be that this is made in a different batch. Maybe the new ones from EMPI will look like that. I don't know. But I thought it would be just fun to see if it works. I mean, it really only takes a second to put it in. The hardest part, again, is I'm going to try and save this grommet because I'm not certain that this one's bad, so I'll just mark it and keep it for something else and keep it for a little while, just in case. So there is another style of these you'll see like on websites or eBay or at some of your parts places that is cheaper than the EMPI one. I know 100% for sure that those don't last at all. I call those the white box ones, even though this one comes in a white box. I don't know. I mean, it's the same style as this one here, so I'm going to assume that possibly it's better made. Now, normally, the EMPI ones come with these things off. So you put, so what I do is I put the grommet in first, which is a lot easier, and then just put the ends on it after. So it really takes a couple seconds shorter time than actually doing these ones this way, because this one, look at it, see, it comes like this. It comes pre-assembled, so there's something different about it. The fact that it's pre-assembled makes me a little bit nervous. And then getting this fella in the hole, it's probably a little tougher. Almost need, well, maybe not. It's not that hard. She went right in, look at that. And then this little thing goes over there. Careful not to pull the wires. That's why it's much easier, like I said, to do these in outside of the car. You stick your little Allen screw in. In real time, it doesn't really take that long. And then doing the points and having to adjust them and all that, this is already on. Then you just put your little magnet thing on there. What's that? The other one didn't have that thing either. Has a little ring. I don't know what that's for. Oh. I don't know. Got to make sure the wires aren't touching. Make sure this thing's all the way down on there. Then you put the little hold down bracket on here. Almost doesn't seem like it's really necessary for this one. Oh, for the wires, so the wires don't get pinched or pulled on. Just don't want them to touch. Let me pull this off again, because I don't want those wires to touch. I have to make sure that they're not going to touch that. Yeah, it's going to be okay. And pull this thing back off and just make sure. And really make sure, because you don't want this thing to rub through the wires. Then you've done your job wrong. I'll bring it back in. I'm just going to do that and check it out, make sure it's perfect. One other thing that's kind of hokey about this one is it doesn't have this stuff on the wires, right? So those are just wires with whatever coatings on them going through that little bracket. Let's look up close so you can see. So yeah, this is how it goes there, and that's, it should have an additional thing on there, but I don't think it's going to move anything, so I think it'll be all right. But it could wear through, engine vibration, and so that's kind of, don't like that too much. That could cause an issue eventually, but it might last, a few years. So we'll put it back in there and see if it runs. All right, so there you go. Put it on there, ran for about 20 seconds and quit. So don't buy those. They don't work. talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. At least we know. And you guys can, I'll send this one back. She'd be able to get a refund, no problem. But just thought it would be kind of fun to test. Like I said, I didn't want to have it as a second one and then put it on and have exactly what happened on the road. But I thought maybe I'll try it since it's a part, since I have an issue, and see if it fixes it. And it didn't. So I'll talk to you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, okay, there I am. I just wanted to say, woo!